Hi everyone, my name is Max Haslbeck. I'm a PhD student at the University of Innsbruck, and today I'm going to give a short overview of our work submitted to CPP 2021 with the title An Isabelle HOL Formalization of AProVE's Termination Method for LLVM. This is joint work with my PhD supervisor René Thiemann. So let's dive right in. What is our main goal, our big goal? As the title already mentioned, we're concerned with termination analysis, and we want to develop a fast, powerful, and highly reliable termination analysis tool for imperative programs. Fast meaning, okay, maybe that really you just click a button and then it tells you, okay, this is terminating for all inputs or it's not. It should be powerful, it should cover lots of cases. And our work is concerned with the highly reliable part. We want to make the termination analysis tool trustworthy. And this graph here gives an overview of our framework infrastructure. So when I say imperative programs, I mean C code. And we're not working directly on the C code. We use the LLVM framework, compiler framework, to translate the C code into LLVM intermediate representation code. And the analysis is then done on the LLVM code. The termination analysis tool we use is called AProVE. It is developed at RWTH Aachen. And well, it tells you there are three outcomes. Well, it tells you no, this is non-terminating for certain inputs, and it usually gives you a counterexample, which is easily testable. It can time out since termination of an algorithm is an undecidable problem, or it tells you yes, this is terminating for all inputs. And well, the problem here is, do you trust this result? And AProVE is developed in Java, so it can contain bugs, and do you trust the termination analysis techniques, that those are correct and sound? So AProVE usually gives you some justification or a proof why this is terminating for all inputs. But these are machine-generated proofs which contain, for example, large integer transition systems. And there's no way for a human to actually read and check this. And this is where we come in. And we develop a tool called CETA, Certified Termination Analysis, which then checks these proofs. And we use the interactive theorem prover Isabelle to develop CETA, and so that if you trust the Isabelle kernel, you can trust our certified CETA. And what exactly are our contributions? So previous work on this topic was AProVE has already a termination analysis technique for LLVM. So it proves termination of LLVM code by translating it to a so-called symbolic execution graph, which is a finite representation of all possible states a program can enter. And it shows, and they have proven on paper that if the SEG is terminating, then the LLVM is terminating. And then they have shown that you can convert the SEG to an integer transition system, and the termination of the ITS implies the termination of the symbolic execution graph. And AProVE and CETA already have support for certified termination proofs of integer transition systems. So our work is concerned with the first two steps, and then we can reuse the infrastructure for the termination proofs of the ITSs. So what we did in Isabelle was we specified small step operational semantics for LLVM. We also specified semantics for the symbolic execution graph, and then we have shown, okay, what properties have to hold that the conversion of LLVM to an SEG is sound. Then we have shown how to convert an SEG to an ITS, that this conversion is again sound. And we show, okay, if the SEG is terminating, then the LLVM IR code is terminating, and we show if the ITS is terminating, then the corresponding SEG is terminating. So we have verified in Isabelle all the paper proofs done by the AProVE team, but as already mentioned, we go one step further. So we implemented a function LLVM check termination, which takes as input a program, a function as a starting point, and a proof of termination. And if this function succeeds, then we show, okay, the step relation, which implements the small step semantics, is terminating on a start state S with the program proc. So now we develop, and LLVM check termination is executable, and similar functions have been developed for other systems like integer transition systems and term-rewrite systems, and all of these together form CETA, and we now integrated our LLVM termination certifier within CETA. CETA is the code from our Haskell development exported, is the code from our Isabelle development exported to Haskell. And then if you compile the Haskell code with a Haskell compiler, you get a standalone binary. So it does not depend anymore on Isabelle. And we also extended AProVE to generate proofs that are readable by CETA. These are in an XML format that was already used for the termination proofs of term-rewrite systems, for example. This is what this looks like. You have an usually very large XML file with the actual problem as input. Here it is an LLVM problem. And then in another tag, after that, in another tag, you have the proof, which here is an LLVM termination proof, which consists of the SEG, an ITS, and an ITS termination proof. And well, we implemented all of this, and we evaluated this on the programs from the C integer category from the termination competition. Here, AProVE can generate termination proofs for 216 out of 334 programs, uncertified termination proofs. And now with our methods, AProVE can generate 102 certified termination proofs that in turn can be checked by CETA, so little less than half now have certified termination proofs. And well, actually, AProVE can generate ITSs. So why does this not work for more programs? AProVE can generate ITSs for almost all of those programs. But then it can't show termination of those ITSs with the certified ITS termination methods. So the certified ITS termination analysis needs further improvement. Then we could show for more programs, C programs, that they are terminating. And some small limitations, or some limitations and future work for us, is we don't have a proper memory model yet. And also we're working with arbitrary integer arithmetic instead of bit vector arithmetic like in real work code. We hope to fix those limitations in future work. And at the end, I'm going to leave you with the graph I showed you in the beginning, because I think we have found a nice way here to have a, well, fast and powerful termination analysis tool here with AProVE. But you also have a trustworthy, highly reliable tool, because in the end, the proof of termination also has to be checked by our verified system. So that's it. Thanks for listening, and I'm looking forward to all of your questions.